Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the coverage of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. And we are coming to you live from Lignieres-en-Berry in France, right in the heart of France. It's a bit of a sandy course here, based at the Equestrian Centre in this small little town, with some very interesting features, making full use of the dressage areas and show jumping arenas. And as you can see, some great spectator positions. Sun's come out and it is actually quite nice now, a little bit cold, 6 degrees, but much more comfortable than it was first thing this morning when we were down in the minus temperatures. And lining up, it's a pretty strong field here in the women's race. 49 entries, with most of the key names in here. Obviously, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, the reigning world champion, not on the start, and Marianne Vos still on her way back from injury. But all of the big contenders, Sanne Cant, the leader of the World Cup from Belgium, the only rider to have won more than one race so far this season. But it's a very open World Cup this year in the women's competition. Riders from Australia, Canada as well starting to come over. Of course, we're only 2 weeks away from the World Championships, and so maybe seeing a little bit more of an international field than we would at some races. The crowd has been flocking in here right from the very start. They've already seen some great action in the junior men and the under-23 men's competitions, and there's a big home support here, obviously, for the French team. And we are pretty much literally right in the center of France, just a few kilometers away from the official center of the country. And I think we can look forward to some pretty fast racing. Talking to Helen Wyman, the British rider there, who you can see 7th overall in the World Cup standings, saying it is quite a sandy course. It is going to be fast as well. There's the confirmation of the standings at the moment. Sanne Cant, the only rider with 2 wins, has that 17-point buffer. And lining up, Helen Wyman on the front row in the new lunar colours for this season. That is going to make them an exceptionally strong team. Eva Lechner, the Italian national champion, winner in Valkenburg. Nikki Harris getting her maiden win this season, the new British champion. Sanne Cant then, the only rider who's won more than 1 round in this series. She is the World Cup leader. Paula Havlikova, the pocket rocket from the Czech Republic. Only 1 podium so far this year for her. Ellen van Looy, being consistent with a podium in the last rounds. And Katie Compton, I think it's safe to say she's had an up and down season so far. Caroline Manny, what a fantastic result for her, picking up her first podium, and the French National Championships the other week. So she is on great form at the moment, Caroline Manny. Obviously been racing a lot in the USA over previous seasons. Tape coming down now. We are getting ready for this women's race then. Round 6 of the 2015-16 UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup, and it's underway. Not quite a tarmac start, more like a kind of gravel surface. And you can see Van Looy getting a good start here. Cantor studying in behind. Look out as well in there. Hanka Kupfernagel coming back, the former world champion, one of the pioneers of women's cyclocross. She is actually in this race as well, riding for Germany. Got the 39 number on her back. And just been having a few little words with Hanka. It's she's just going to wait and see what happens, really. See how it plays out. Looks like Christine Majos, the Luxembourg champion, with a good start. Up there in third place. Coming through, also very good start there from Chiara Giocci from Italy, one of the under-23 riders, and we need to keep an eye on them because, of course, there's going to be, for the first time ever, an under-23 World Championships. And looking to see who might be in contention for that. Not a great start from Harris or from Compton. They're a little bit down there. Van Looy, though, got the good start on the road, and you can see just the nature of this is catching riders out straight away. Lechner through there smoothly. Wyman gets a good start as well. She's well up. But Harris is not had the best of starts there. The winner in Namur. Namur really was her kind of course, big climbs. So also well up there, Femke van der Riesche from Belgium, another one of the under-23 riders. But it's Van Looy, then Kant, then comes Giocchi, then Lechner. Halikova's moving up there as well. And Lechner coming through. Of course, the winner in Valkenburg has had that jersey on her shoulders. She's just 17 points off Sanne Cant. So just to give you an idea, that would need a win with Cant back in fourth place if she was going to wrest that jersey off the Belgian woman's shoulders. And already starting to see a few gaps coming out here. Looking at the chasers, Caitlin Antonou was well up there as well. Of course, she had an amazing ride in Valkenburg, got a first ever World Cup podium there. And you can see the rut starting to appear on the corners. We have had 2 races so far, plus we've had quite a lot of practice over the last hour or so. Van Looy then leading from Camp. Then comes Lechner, then Giocchi, then Mazurus, Paula Havlikova, Wyman. Then comes Van der Riesche, Compton, starting to get the diesel engine going and moving up, as to here's Nikki Harris. Also seeing Mikael Dyke up there as well, the Canadian rider. National champion of Canada. You can see making the most of the features of the equestrian centre here. Lots of hairpin turns on this course. Kind of characterised by tight turns and short, steep banks, both descents and climbs. And Lechner just has a little look over her shoulder to see how much of a selection there is already, and the gaps are starting to open up here. Wyman trying to get across onto the wheel of Giocchi. Then comes Antonov. Harris trying to find a way through there as well. A lot of these sections, though, very, very fast. And Sanakant has just moved to the front now for the first time, the World Cup leader. Win here could really put her on course to winning. One more round to come next weekend in Hoogerheide in Adrie van der Poel's back garden. And a big buffer of points would give her a lot of confidence, I'm sure, going into that. But Lechner is matching every move that she makes. Oh, quick dismount needed from Kant, and Lechner following suit. Halikova closing in as well. Mazaros, she's having a good ride here. The Luxembourgeoise champion. Antonov starting to close in that gap as well. Caitlin Antonov in the green there. Nikki Harris recovering after not the best of starts. We'll see how this plays out as we go forward onto the show jumping arena and the flight of steps that allows Van Looy just to move back ahead of Lechner. Wyman, though, on a course that she, by her own admission, really doesn't suit her, is going well. And it's quite interesting looking at her bike beforehand. She's had a bit of a gamble. She's running a very special set of tyres on there with almost like a hybrid tyre with a very low profile centre, but with mud profile on the outside edge, just to try and give her some acceleration on the flat, and it does seem to be working. Just riders running around 16 PSI on their tyres here, so give you an idea of the conditions that they have been anticipating. Looks like Sophie de Boer was just starting to move up, but Sanakant getting a little bit of a gap now as they go up and down these little sharp banks. Tioki, I think, is starting to be caught up by some of the more experienced riders. Sanakant, though, into the hurdles as they come towards the closing stages of the first lap. And it is Lechner in third place. Then comes Havlikova. Van Looy in second. Then Lechner. Then Havlikova. Then comes Mazurus. Tioki. Wyman. Then comes Antonov. Just see how some of these turns just totally break up the rhythm. They can't back onto the gas, accelerates again. Lechner, the Italian national champion, trying to come across there. Wyman with Tioki in her line of sight as they head across onto the finish straight. So first lap will be completed. And Count looking strong there. 3 seconds over Van Looy. Then comes Lechner and Havlikova. Majorus, Tioki and Wyman. And then back to Antonov and this little chase group. De Boer has moved up well. Harris is in there too. Van der Desch in there. Caroline Manny too. Gotta say, great ride here at the moment. Michael Dyke is in 13th place, just ahead of Compton. forget, send us in your tweets. Can give you an update. Some of the fans from in the UK. Hannah Payton, she was currently running around the mid-30s. Lisa Jacobs of Australia in 34th place. Hannah Payton just has gone through in 35th place. Elle Anderson of the USA has gone through in 27th, but Hanke Kupfernagel has gone through 30th place. So the former world champion rolling back the years here and looking to see if her experience will pay off in the later stages of this race, because we know for sure Kupfernagel knows how to pace a race very well. Sanne though is opening up the lead now. Van Looy struggling a little bit, I think, on those tighter turns. Sometimes if you're a bigger rider, tighter turns can be a little bit more of a chore. Gritting her teeth, trying to stay in sight of the little Belgian rider.
Exactement. Et l'on retrouve donc la tête de course, c'est toujours pour le moment avec le maillot blanc qui est aux commandes, le leader de la Coupe du Monde.
And Can is starting to pull away now on the descent, and that gap is definitely growing. The World Cup leader, 2 wins in the bag already. Winner in Koksijde, winner at Zolder. And looking back, the battle still on for 3rd place. It's like Legner and Havlikova dueling it out, but Sanne trying to cement her overall lead in the series. Van Looy, 2nd place. Then comes Legner. Havlikova right behind her. In terms of consistency, Legner has it. She has been the only rider who's not finished outside the top 10. Every one of her results, a top 10 finish. A good ride here as well, though. Sophie de Boer, after a bad start, she's starting to move up as well. And we might see a few riders who maybe haven't had the form all the way through the World Cup Series, but are starting to come into good form just in time for the World Championships in 2 weeks' time. Of course, you'll be able to follow that with us. Anthony McCrossan and Simon Burney will be covering the action for you at the World Championships, which returns us to Huizenzoda. Legner and Havlikova are fighting it out for 3rd place. Can still holding that lead, still round about 3 seconds over Van Looy. And Legner just getting a little bit of a gap here over Havlikova. Havlikova trying to come back to her. And it's starting to look like we might have a podium selection already. Through the intermediate. And it's 6 seconds now, the lead for Can, but another 7 seconds back to Legner. I can tell you in the junior and under 23 men's races earlier on today, some of these sections did catch out a few riders. I think now there might be just a bit more grip coming through. It was very cold earlier. Wyman really going strongly now. She's now ahead of Mazurus and Tsuyoshi and Manny starting to come through as well. She will have an extra gear courtesy of the home crowd getting behind her. So again, Ben Van Looy looks like a little gap just appearing now for Eva Lechner over Pavla Havlikova. But this woman is looking in control at the moment, finding that good line just on the right-hand side, finding the grip on that section, which is very chewed up. And opting to run round that hairpin because into that descent, not really enough control to exit on a racing line. Lechner, a little look across to see where Havlikova is, and she's just a few meters behind in 4th place. Wyman up to 5th place, Harris up to 8th, and Majerus now 6th, Giochi 7th, De Boer in 9th, Antonov 10th, Manny in 11th, Van der Drescher in 12th, Mikael Dick of Canada in 13th place. Good ride for her. And Lechner has started to get the gap here, I think, now. Needs to close in, needs to get ahead of Van Looy to keep that points gap to a minimum. But Sanakamp looking very strong at the moment. Van Looy, who led us out of the start, coming through. Wyman at the head of that little chase group, and it looks to me like someone has jumped off ahead of them, or could have been maybe Havlikova getting caught or closed in on, definitely, but it's Kant who leads them then, and the gap is still 6 seconds. Van Looy is holding it at 6 seconds. Then comes Lechner at 13, so no change to the gaps as they come through, and it was actually Havlikova. 22 seconds her. Then comes Wyman. Then De Boer, Giochi, Majerus, Manny, Antonov, Harris. And I think it's going to be Van der Drescher. Van der Becken, Joyce Van der Becken, following her through. Then Lois Sells, Dirk, Arzufi, Noskova, Captains and Grosset, and Verstraeten rounds out the top 20. Katie Compton is not having a good day here. She's dropping down through the standings. We've had Nuno Palacio of Spain go through, Brandau of Germany, Heigl of Austria, and then Katie Compton. And Katie Compton is just being passed as they go up the start-finish straight. Elle Anderson stormed past her. So Compton is going backwards, I'm afraid, and then comes Gonzalez Blanco, Alicia Gonzalez Blanco, Labus Van der Hoek, Lucia Gonzalez Blanco, Peyton Jacobs, Oosterman, Morrison, and Naumann. Amanda Naumann currently in 35th place. But back to the front of the race. There is a real battle going on here for 4th position. At the moment, Halikova has now been caught by Wyman and De Boer. Lechner still in 3rd place. The Italian champion moved across to the Luna Pro team for the 2016 season. Of course, Lechner, not just an accomplished cyclocross rider, also a World Cup winner in mountain biking, and the Olympics in Rio is going to be a big target for her as well. But what a great start to the season she's had. Taking the Italian title once again. Currently the Belgian champion. But of course, wearing the white leader's jersey is the leading rider in the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. These three slightly different styles. You can see Can always looks like she's working so hard. Little nodding dog kind of riding style. The head bobs around. Contrast with some of the others. Wyman there, absolutely rock solid. Leading through the chase group, Halikova. Then De Boer, then comes Manny and Antonio. Sanakan only knows one way to race really, and that's full gas right from the go. Van Looy holding that gap. I'll give you an update in a second from the split points. It's actually come down by a little bit on the chases, but it's hovering around the 5-6 seconds mark. And Lechner, a similar sort of distance behind in third place. So they're looking pretty evenly matched so far. De Boer now onto the front of the chase group. That's fourth place down, and De Boer there. Wyman still in contention in this group, as too is Halikova. But Sanakan moving clear. I think as it stands at the moment, we're looking for a mistake or a mechanical to really come into play here at the moment, because these three riders look relatively evenly matched, and in terms of the time gaps, no massive changes. Manny with the French crowd behind her, just trying to come through. She's ahead of Antonio, but they've just let a little gap go on De Boer, Halikova and Wyman. This is a good ride from Helen Wyman, because by her own admission, she is not someone who particularly likes this, either this sort of course or these sort of conditions. She likes a very muddy, tough course. This is, despite that section there, pretty sandy, and also the weather now not playing a major a role in how this race is playing out. Van Looy then still in second. Lechner in third. I think it's still going to be around about 6 seconds between those two. Then comes the chase. Halikova and De Boer really battling it out at the moment. riders can't afford to ease up at all as they come through. Little glance across maybe for Sanagan to see where the chasers are. Van Looy just safely through the hurdles.
Maximum d'intérêt ici à Lignières, et bien la progression, la remontée de Caroline Mani.
And her chance to look across again, and that section there in particular, I think if you're a taller rider, those tight turns just a little bit harder to contend with than if you're a small rider, let's say Havlikova. Lechner still then in third place, not really making any inroads into the gap there for Van Looy. So Sanakan comes through, completes the third lap. 2 laps to go. And the gap has gone out now by some way. So I think Kant has put the hammer down now over that last lap. Gained another 10 seconds. Now, what is the gap? Back to Lechner. 11 seconds. So similar kind of issue. And I think Lechner could start to come under pressure maybe from De Boer. De Boer coming through here, but Mani is really pushing on as well. And she will get a huge amount of support over the closing stages. She's in 5th, Wyman in 6th, Antonov in 7th place. Then it's Havlikova in 8th. Tiochi is now going backwards, I think paying the price for that early start. The under 25 rider, under 23 rider, sorry. Just behind Harris, just ahead there. Oh, there's a problem there for Kant. She misjudged that bank. Managed to just haul herself up on the fence post. But maybe another mistake like that could cost her. And she's into the pits for a bike change. Lechner trying to find the line there. Just the camber there is starting to come into play. She has a little dab as well. And Van Looy actually looked pretty comfortable going through that section. Be interesting to see if that has disrupted Sanakant's rhythm at all. Here we go, just coming up. And she just managed to hold herself up there. Could go one of 2 ways, I think. Either gets her aggressive and she kicks on again, or just breaks the rhythm slightly. Lechner still in that 3rd place. Wyman, Mani, Antonov all fighting it out. And just a quick update for those of you down in Australia who are sitting up in the small hours watching the race in here. Lisa Jacobs currently in 33rd place. The Aussie national champion as back at the front. Sanakan on that fresh bike this lap. Out of the saddle again, keeping the tempo high. Keeping that gap of round about 13 seconds over Ellen Van Looy. Got a question come in here from No Billings on Twitter. I think you've asked about the white stuff on the ground. I think you're talking about where it's going across the sand of the equestrian centre. There's two sections, one on a dressage arena, I think it is, and one on the show jumping arena. And it's that sand is the white you can see. Unlike, as I understand, the British Series, which is on today, no snow here. They're racing in snow over in Milton Keynes, which of course hosted a round of the World Cup last year, made history, the first ever round of the Cyclo-cross World Cup outside of continental Europe. And of course this year our opening round took us even further, the first ever non-European round of the World Cup over in Cross Vegas. What a fantastic race that was to kick us off. So we have pretty much, as you were at the front of the race, these three riders in the podium positions are more or less keeping it the same as it has been for the last couple of laps. It is still Sanakan out in front, then comes Ellen Van Looy, and then comes the former World Cup leader, Eva Lechner. And Sanakan, only really one blip on the CV this year, on the Palmares this year, and that was the 14th place at Namur. Other than that, it's been third, fourth, first, and first. And as it looks at the moment, on course for another first place, and that is going to give her a pretty healthy lead going into the final round next weekend at the Hideout. This battle, though, for fourth place is really what is getting the attention of the crowd, because Caroline Manni is by no means out of contention. Leading the home challenge in the absence of the world champion, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. And she's looking to build on what's been a good season so far. Started with 15th in Cross Vegas out in the USA, where she's been racing quite a lot over the last few seasons. But then back to Europe. Missed rounds 2 and 3. Second, of course, at Namur. Fifth at Zolder, just after Christmas. And it's really a matter of what might have been, I guess, for Manni if she'd have done those other two rounds at Valkenburg and Koksijde. She would be higher up in the standings. Oh, Van Looy. The gap is down now between Van Looy and Lechner. Eva Lechner now has the tall Belgian in her sight. That's come down a lot from 12 seconds. As this is going to be down to probably about 5 seconds or so. Lechner smoothly over the hurdles. And by my reckoning, down to 5 seconds, so that has gone. It's been halved, that gap. Sanakan, though, is building on her lead by the look of things. 21 seconds at the split point. She's going to get the bell this time. You can see, looking at that front tyre, just how low a pressure she's running there. Legner needs to dig deep now to try and close the gap on Van Looy. Can she move up to second place? If she can, the gap is still just going to be 27 points. Going into the final round next week, which is not insurmountable. This is really going to be a fight here. And Mani's really going for it now. She's up to fourth place. Mani gasping down the air as she comes through. Just ahead of De Boer. Then comes Antonov. Antonov's moving up as well. Wyman still up there within a minute of the race leaders, still looking strong. I think Halikova is going to be going backwards here. And we might see a little bit of a change around in the top 10 as we come into the final lap. Harris in 9th, Tioki in 10th, Madrus in 11th, Van der Becken in 12th. Remember as well, we're looking for some indicators of who's running well in terms of under 23 riders as we head towards the first ever under 23 World Championship. And Tioki is having the best day so far, but Van der Drescher from Belgium also riding well. Arzuffi from Italy has gone through in 14th place. Another under 23 rider. Mani and De Boer fighting out for 4th place. Sanakant, though, once she hit the front, she hasn't looked like surrendering that position. Mani is going to leave absolutely everything out here on the track to try and close up that gap. She certainly is looking for another top 5 finish, but has she got anything left to close that gap? I think it's going to take a problem, a mechanical or a crash, for her to close in on the top 3. It's a tantalizing gap here now for Eva Legner. She can just see Van Looy ahead of her, but can't seem to close that gap anymore. Mani has got the gap now. She's got a little gap over De Boer, so she's trying to get herself clear. De Boer looks like she's got a problem with a pedal or a cleat, trying to get some of the mud out of it. Then comes Antonov. And Antonov looking for another good finish, be a second top 5 finish of this World Cup campaign. Sanakant, though, she is reigning supreme. Going to be the first rider home by the look of things. It's going to be a 3rd World Cup win of the 2015-16 season. Legner attacking hard. Can she close in on Van Looy? She does have a pretty good sprint finish on her, Eva Legner. Mani, oh, she's, the mouth is wide open, absolutely gasping down the air. She looks like she's really burying herself to come home here in 4th position. Antonov is giving chase. Sanakant just looking calm and controlled now at the front. It's a good crowd here, very knowledgeable, very supportive crowd of all of the racers. Van Looy still in sight of Legner, but still tantalizingly out of reach for the Italian. Mani now has gone clear in 4th place. I think this crowd is going to go absolutely mental if she comes in 4th position. Sanakant, though, just taking these last few climbs and descents of the banking in her stride, off the bike, just to avoid any problems there. And straight back on. Always looks a little bit uncomfortable to me with the left shoulder dipping down a little bit lower. But it's effective. You can't argue with that. She is dominating this race over the bridge safely onto the sand of the equestrian arena. And Lechner still trying to close that gap. A lot of foreshortening there of the camera. The camera shot. It's going to take a big effort here over the closing stages. Still a little way to go, but it's 6 seconds, that gap. We might see here on the steps just how much she's closed in. I make it about 5 seconds, and I don't think Lechner is going to be able to close that on Van Looy unless Van Looy blows a gasket on the run in towards the finish, or makes a mistake on one of these last few sections. She should be safe here, I think, for 2nd place. Just powers up the climb here. You might hear some cheers in the background. I think that's because Mani is still clear in 4th place. Can safely over the hurdles. She has the luxury of looking across. It's not going to be coming under threat from Van Looy. Lechner, I think, has just got too much to do over the last few 100 meters of this course. Ellen Van Looy still with around about 5 seconds. Sanakant out of the saddle again. No chance really in cyclo-cross to take a breath, to take an ease off. And she's going to come home to take her 3rd win of this World Cup campaign and surely put one hand on the title. One more race to go next week in Hoogerheide, but Sanakant is the winner here in Lignieres-en-Berry. The winner of round 6, Ellen Van Looy, punches the air in satisfaction. Her 2nd podium finish after 3rd place in Hoyzenzolder. Lechner closed in, but not enough for 3rd place there, but she continues her amazing run of top 10 finishes. Caroline Mani is going to get a big welcome here. The French national champion high-fiving away up to the line to take 4th place. Her 2nd best finish of the World Cup. And another top 5 finish for Caitlin Antonou, starting to establish herself as maybe the new US contender, because it hasn't been a good day for Katie Compton, I'm afraid. Sophie de Boer takes 6th. Helen Wyman on a track that she really said didn't suit her, with a solid ride there in 7th. Havlikova is going to take 8th place. Sprinting in for 9th place. It's going to be Joyce van der Becken. Nikki Harris takes 10th. Tiara Tioki in 11th. She's the first of the under-23 riders. And remember that when we come to the World Championships. Mazurus, the Luxembourgeoise, in 12th place. Then it's Van den Drescher. Arzuffi of Italy in 14th place. 15th place is going to go to Lizzie Brandau. And 16th to Nikola Noskova. Maud Kapjens takes 17th.
Voilà donc pour l'épreuve des dames qui se termine, nous avons encore quelques concurrentes sur le circuit. On laisse arriver tout le monde. Ensuite, la cérémonie protocolaire avant le départ de la 4e épreuve du jour.
And Dyke comes in. That's 18th place for the Canadian champion, and that's going to move her up from what was quite a low starting position. 19th place for Elle Anderson, 20th for Laura Vanderschot of Belgium. And as the riders keep coming in, Verstraeten in 21st, Sels 22nd, Nuno Palacio in 23rd, Heigl, the Austrian champion, coming through. So let's bring in a recap of the action here in round 6. Off the start, great start it was from Van Looy. And she set the early pace ahead of Lechner and Kant, but then once Sanakant hit the front, that was it for the rest of the race. Gradually opened up the lead over Van Looy. And the battle was on for 3rd place for some time between Lechner and Havlikova, but then we settled pretty much into the pattern as Havlikova started to go backwards. And as that happened, Kant just kept pulling away, building that lead. Took it from 6 seconds to 13, then out to over 20 seconds. Van Looy just couldn't respond. Managed to keep herself clear in 2nd place, but she had no answer for a compatriot. And Sanakant takes her 3rd win of this World Cup campaign to increase her lead in that white jersey. Going to take it now out to 27 points. Van Looy with that 2nd place, creating a little bit more of a buffer. Look out over this woman. Eva Lechner taking 3rd and keeping herself in 2nd place overall. So here's the unofficial results. Kant taking 1st, Van Looy 2nd, Lechner 3rd, Manny with a good ride in 4th place, Antonov another top 5 for her, then De Boer, Wyman, Havlikova, Van der Becken and Harris. Going through there, Tioki, best of the under-23s, and a good ride for her. Good ride as well for the Canadian champion there. Dick in 18th place, but this woman reigns supreme here in the centre of France. Another masterclass, really. from Sanakant. So, one more round lies ahead for the women. Here's the World Cup standings. 32 points. My correction on there of the lead for Kant Van Looy. In third, Harris fourth, Compton with not a good day today. Dropping to fifth, Haulikova, Wyman, Manny, Antonou, and De Boer rounding off the top 10 standings. And just to give you an idea of what that means as we go forward, with 60 points for a win, 50 for second, 45 for third, going right the way down there. Lechner's going to need to win and can't finish lower than 7th place. So it is going to be, it's a big ask. As I say, Sanakant has pretty much one hand on the title. Can she finish off the job next week in Hoogerheide, down in the south of the Netherlands? Just short trip over the border, and we're going to hear from our race winner, Sanakant.
Sanakant, many congratulations. You were leading from start till finish. Was this your best race of the season?
It wasn't my best feeling, so I had a good race. I just ride on my own, so I don't have mistakes. So I'm happy. It was a nice course, so I'm happy I could win.
In 2 weeks there is a World Championship. There are the World Championships. Does this give a boost of confidence?
Yeah, I think if I can train two more weeks really good, maybe I can win in Zolder. I hope so. I work a whole year for that, so I hope I could win.
Nog heel even in het Nederlands. Het was een prachtige wedstrijd die je hebt gereden. Heb je ook economisch gekoerst? Want je leek altijd alles perfect onder controle te hebben.
Ja, ik wou zo weinig mogelijk fouten maken, maar ik wou wel een heel wedstrijd op de limiet rijden. Dat is iets dat al even geleden is dat ik dat nog gedaan heb. En dat is niet gemakkelijk om constant tegen die pijngrens te blijven rijden. Dus ik was blij dat ik goed weg was. En Ellen reed echt heel hard die eerste ronde. En ik kon mooi volgen. En we hadden al direct een gaatje. En ik dacht, ik ga eens overnemen. En ja, maar dat ze niet meekomen, want anders hadden we misschien met 2 een mooie wedstrijd van kunnen maken. Maar ik ben echt blij dat ik vandaag terug heb kunnen winnen.
Nog eens proficiat, dankjewel, Sanakant.
So, Sanakant, despite not having, by her standards, a great day, she takes the win. Just an update on Katie Compton, unfortunately taken unwell today, and just riding around, trying to kind of keep herself on track, but suffering. She has had some issues with health, suffers a lot with allergies, I know, going through the season, and Katie Compton in 33rd place, but I'm sure a lot of the US fans will be hoping that she's back on form. So we're getting ready for the podium presentation. Sanakant in her European Champions jersey there. just had a few tweets coming in asking for some positions, and I can tell you Hannah Payton finished 26th place. Amanda Naumann in 28th. And Lisa Jacobs in 35th place. But here we are then, the podium presentation for round 6 of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup here in Lignieres-en-Berry in France.
Et à la première place, Belgique. Voilà, les 3 lauréates ont été fleuries. Je vous propose de les applaudir plus fort encore. 50 lauréates, Ellen Van Looy, 2e, Eva Leclerc, 3e. Et maintenant, les trophées vont
So, Eva Leclerc takes 3rd spot, Ellen Van Looy in 2nd, but the race winner, the World Cup leader, with 3 wins out of 6. Sanne Kant of Belgium.
Le président de la Fédération française de cyclisme, vice-président de l'Union cycliste internationale, Sanne Kant. Voilà les trophées, les bravos à Sanne Kant, Ellen Van Looy, Eva Leclerc. Voilà le sac de sport.
I think they're going to be well over their hand baggage allowance with the amount of prizes and trophies that are being handed out here today. And as the crowd salutes Sanne Kant as our race winner, she'll be looking to take that form forward to next week in Hoogerheide, and of course to Zolder for the World Championships in 2 weeks' time, all of which you'll be able to follow with us. And I think we'll be hoping that the fact that she won the World Cup round in Zolder is going to be a good omen for her. So, just awaiting the national anthem of Belgium in honour of the race winner. So the winner of round 6 of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup and retaining her lead in the overall standings, Sanne Kant from Belgium. Now, don't forget, we've got the men's race coming up for you in just about half an hour's time. So join us in 30 minutes time for the men's race. Wout van Aert currently leads there. So can he follow Kant's example? Thanks for joining us for this Women's World Cup race. Congratulations to Sanne Kant. She goes into the final round as the World Cup leader.